My relationship with food and my body image have been something that have been intertwined, and probably the things that I've struggled the most with in my life, especially in the past couple of years. And today I'm opening up and I'm going to share my journey with my relationship with food and my body image. I'll also talk about my relationship with exercising and how it all got very toxic for me. So thank you so much for watching. Welcome to my channel. I'm Lara and musically I'm Saphy, and I'm so excited to share my journey with you and to share all the insights that I'm learning about my biggest passion, which is personal development. And I'll soon be sharing more of my music as well, because I'm a songwriter, I'm a singer, a pianist, and I've been working on cruise ships for the past 3.5 years, entertaining crowds all around the world and traveling and having the perfect Instagram life. But I ended up really hating it, and that's why I've decided to settle on land and start a YouTube channel. So here I am. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little bit nervous sharing about these topics today because it feels very vulnerable and not everything is solved. Even if my relationship with food, my body and exercising has drastically improved over the past couple of years, it's still something that I'm working on. But it feels very right today to open up about these things, and I hope it helps anybody who is watching this. And I know it's more common than we think, even though we don't talk about it so much in society. Where should I start? Let's start with what role food had in my childhood. So if you watch my other videos, you probably know that I've struggled a lot with loneliness when I was a child and a teenager. I didn't have many friends and I was just different. My parents were eating organic foods. I grew up in a small village, and just little things. I was not wearing the same kind of clothes as everybody else, and I was very shy at school, but not shy at all at home. And so it was a big struggle for me to be at school and watch other people having friendships and me being alone. And I also struggled from with being bullied and a lot of self-hate. Mainly, I think it was hating myself for not having friends and hating myself for being lonely, and just judging myself, thinking I'm the problem and thinking I deserve to not be here on earth, as I got told so many times. Anyway, as a teenager, I used to steal money from my mom's bag. This is very vulnerable. I used to steal money from my mom's bag, and after school I would go to the supermarket and buy candies and chocolate just to soothe myself, and I would buy so much of it. And then when I was getting home, I was just eating so quickly, and I was hiding, and I was always getting chocolate as well from my home. So food at a very young age becomes something that was comforting me, that was soothing me. And I've recently had a massive breakthrough in January, where I realized how food was my only escape. It was my only way out. And I've really associated food with comfort and with pleasure. And what was happening is that when I was going back home, my parents didn't see that something was wrong with me. They just thought I was being a rebellious child or a teenager, and because I was being mean to them, because in my brain I needed coherence. If I didn't have friends at school, I needed to be told off at home, I needed to be punished at home, I needed to be hated at home in some way, so that it could make sense in my brain that I'm just a bad girl and that I don't deserve love. And that's why I was creating drama at home with my brothers and with my parents, so that my brain could make sense of these things. But I was suffering so much, and at any stages in life, we are social beings and we need friendships. We need to have other people, validating us and supporting us and just, socializing. And I didn't have that for so many years. I actually did a somatic release breath work yesterday. If you don't know what it is, just Google it. you'll see it's a breathing exercise to release traumatic energies that have been trapped in you, and it was very intense. And I realized how much I have suffered as a kid. Food has been this perfect way for me to just escape all my feelings and just get some instant relief. That's the kind of relationship I've built with food as a young child, and I can feel how it's still here today. How I'm still sometimes not allowing myself to eat what I want to eat in front of other people, and how when I get back home, I'm just trying to eat as much sweet stuff as I can because my inner child is panicked. It's like, it's not healed. It's still not healed, and it still needs to be comforted. And yeah. The second thing I wanted to talk about is my body image, because I've really struggled with that, especially since I was a young adult, with the beauty standards and everything where you need to look super skinny. I started thinking that I don't look good enough. And I think the lack of friendships from when I was a child really made me think that the problem was my image, that I was too tall and that I was too fat for some reason. I've struggled a lot with body dysmorphia. I've also struggled in terms of my relationship with food with bulimia. And I'll talk a little bit about this cycle, this self-hate, restriction, and then binging, and then guilt cycle, and how it's a loop that never ends. But yeah, I've struggled with body dysmorphia, just seeing myself way bigger than I actually was. And even up until not so long ago, I would look in the mirror and see myself way bigger than I am, and the day after I would see something completely different, and I was like, okay, there's something going on here. But yeah, I've created this self-hate around my body, thinking that I was not good looking enough, and that I needed to be skinnier. And every time I looked in the mirror, I would just hate myself so much and talk myself down. And I think it's normal not to always love yourself or accept yourself fully, because we're human beings. But like, this was really a sense of deep self-hate, and I was thinking I was too big, so I needed to eat less. And as I told you before, my relationship with food was really my inner child trying to seek comfort, trying to protect me from, feeling all these hard feelings. And so there's this cycle that started getting into my life, where I would look in the mirror and think I look so bad and so fat. And there was actually a time in my life where I was a little bit bigger, and I got some comments from some people around me around, how they were worried about me being big. And that really hit me hard. I felt so unlovable, and I started having so much fat phobia, right? And so me thinking that I looked too big, even though at times I was very skinny, but still in my mind I was like, there's fat here, I need to get rid of that. And so I would restrict, and I've been on so many diets, and restriction is just the worst thing you can do when you have an inner child that's traumatized and that's just seeking comfort, that's just trying to soothe themselves from very harsh emotions that I've been through in the past, and even still today, it's still not solved. So restriction really is the worst thing you can do. And for many years I've really thought that the problem was my body, and up until a couple of days ago, just looking and thinking I'd be so much happier if I was skinnier. And maybe you're a man who's trying to do the other way around. I recently talked to a guy who just wanted to get more muscle, and who was too skinny, and he would have the same kind of thoughts but the other way around. And that's why it just doesn't mean anything. Like, these are just thoughts, and they're just patterns that are in our brains, and we really have to talk about it and to realize that this is not the truth. It's just our minds playing on us, and society is expecting us to look a certain way and to behave a certain way around food as well. And we don't talk enough about trauma and about everything we've been through. We just get all these emotions to be trapped in our bodies, and we don't talk about it, and so we get addicted to different things. And yeah, this cycle of self-hate when looking in the mirror, trying to restrict with food. And because you restrict, what happens is that your body is smarter than you, and you're going to binge. So you're binging, and then you feel so guilty. And when I felt very guilty and I had bulimia, this is how I would express it. You know, it just would, the feelings would not be bearable, so you have to put it out of your body. And this cycle just keeps going on over and over again. And because you suffer so much deep inside, you know, you need to be comforted. And for me, the number one way to be comforted was food. So you see how this is a never-ending loop. And one thing I didn't talk about as well is exercising. I got very much addicted to exercising because that's a way to lose calories, you know, and to get leaner and to look better. And I realized how much I've tied my self-worth to how much I eat, and to mainly to how I look, and to how much I exercise, and then how much I work, and all these things, right? But I've realized how my self-worth and my body image have been intertwined for so long. And today I'm realizing, if you look at a baby, what do you expect the baby to do to be worthy? Would you say that the baby has to look good and do this and eat that or not eat this and be skinny or be whatever, and then it's worthy? Or are you just gonna think it's a baby, it exists, so it's worthy? You know, and I think that was my biggest realization actually a couple of days ago, where I realized we're worthy just as we are. Literally, we are worthy just as we are, just because we exist. And I'm working through this right now, just accepting myself no matter what I look like, with makeup, without makeup, you know, my body wanting to look a certain way for now or not, me not being 100% okay with relationship with food and still binging sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. Because deep inside there's just a child that's been traumatized and that's trying to heal and that's trying to survive and to protect me. I'm quite proud of myself because now my relationship with exercising is quite healthy. I would say I just exercise when I feel like it, and I've really gotten out of this loop of over-exercising as well. And I'm slowly trying to make peace with my body and accepting that sometimes I eat things that are not the best.